Good afternoon. The Department of Labor and Employment says the 40 peso minimum wage hike in Metro Manila will take effect on July 16, despite an appeal filed by labor groups. According to DOLE, employers in Metro Manila are expected to implement the wage hike despite the pending appeal. The 40 peso wage hike would bring the daily minimum wage in Metro Manila from 570 pesos to 610 pesos for the non-agriculture sector. The daily minimum wage for the agriculture sector, service and retail establishments employing 15 or less workers, and manufacturing establishments regularly employing less than 10 workers would increase to 573 pesos from 533 pesos. However, labor groups have filed an appeal against the wage hike and argue that the minimum wage should be based on family living wage amounting to 1,161 pesos. Petitioners also cite inflation and the soaring prices of basic services and commodities in their appeal. DOLE says the National Wages and Productivity Commission shall resolve the appeal within 60 days from the filing date. According to DOLE, petitions for minimum wage hikes have also been filed in other regions. President Bongbong Marcos says a mitigation plan for the El Nino phenomenon is coming this week. The President says the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Department of Public Works and Highways, Department of Agriculture, and the National Irrigation Administration are working together to mitigate the effects of El Nino.
Presently, just to mitigate the effects of El Nino that is coming, at least for this year, right now DNR, Public Works and DA, especially NIA, are working together. We will have a plan for the mitigation of the effects for El Nino this week.
In April, Marcos had ordered a government team to focus on mitigating the effects of the El Nino phenomenon. He had also ordered the creation of the Water Resources Management Office under the DENR.
Because we have enough surface water, it's just a question of collecting it. We are designing now a system of catchment basins, not only for flood control. The original plan was only for flood control, but now we have said we have to change it, that flood control always now includes irrigation and sometimes even power, if we can do it.
The Philippine Coast Guard says it will intensify patrols to drive away the suspected Chinese maritime militia vessels spotted off the Iroquois Reef and Sabina Shoal in the West Philippine Sea. PCG spokesperson for West Philippine Sea Affairs Commodore J. Tariela assures that the PCG will deploy vessels in order to drive away the Chinese maritime militia. 48 Chinese fishing vessels were recently spotted in Iroquois Reef, as reported by the Armed Forces of the Philippines Western Command on its latest air patrol conducted last June 30. The AFP also found Chinese maritime assets near Sabina Shoal, specifically 3 Chinese Coast Guard ships and 2 People's Liberation Army Navy vessels. Tariela previously said that the presence of the Chinese maritime militias may be a prelude to China's illegal occupation of the area. China claims almost all of the areas in the South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea, through its 9-dash line. But the Philippines challenged China's claim before the Permanent Court of Arbitration, which later invalidated Beijing's claim. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. PCG vows to drive away Chinese vessels. Philippine Coast Guard vows to drive away Chinese militia vessels in Iroquois Reef. President Bongbong Marcos says El Nino mitigation plan coming this week. And first week of July, the hottest on record, according to the World Meteorological Association. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good afternoon.